Now the market's pricing in more hikes. Now we're talking about 50 basis points off the bat in March. How do we need to think about the market now?
Yeah, well, I think we have to think about this period between now and March 16th as being the most dramatic period in the market, maybe all year. So here's the bad news. The bad news is that inflation is uncomfortably high, right? The other piece of bad news is that the yield curve has flattened in a form that we call a bear flattener, meaning there's still a little bit of fear in the market that we might make a mistake. There's growth fear. But the good news is actually that Bullard already freaked us out. So we're pricing in the worst. We're pricing in the most hawkish thing that could happen. We're expecting the worst. So now we might actually be surprised on the upside if they do less than that.
Let's be clear, though, Farmer Jim. I mean, Bullard, what he says isn't always what everybody else thinks we should be doing. And maybe that's going to be the case once again, because our own Steve Leisman is reporting that Fed officials are pushing back on Bullard. And then there are a whole slew of them out today with their own commentary saying, not so fast, James, not so fast on 50. What do you think? What are your own expectations now?
Well, I think the base case has gone to 50 basis points. If you get a soft CPI for February, which will be reported, a week or two before the March 15th meeting, then maybe that backs off. But I don't think I think the point you're making is very valid, which is to say this. We've had exactly 0 rate hikes in this rate cycle so far. And the first one is likely to be 4 or 5 weeks away. I'm not going to do the day count to March 15th. So that means that all of this conjecture, there's a lot that can change between now and then. And Scott, I have not been on board with the 7 rate hike trajectory and all of these people falling all over themselves to increase the number of rate hikes. What I think is going to happen is whether it's 50 basis points or 25 basis points, they're going to hike March 15th. And then they're going to sit back and see what happens with the data. And they're going to be data dependent. I expect there will be 3, maybe 4 rate hikes. But again, this is going to be data dependent. So everybody's falling all over themselves. We've had 0 rate hikes so far. Calm down.